Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Virtual City Hall School. Did you know that Edmonton is home to the second largest urban Indigenous population in Canada? And we also have a team called the Indigenous Relations Office, and their team works really hard to build bridges. You see, they want to strengthen and make connections with Indigenous peoples, the City of Edmonton, and different organizations. I'm glad we have one of their members of their team today joining us. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Linda.
Thanks for joining us. I'm going to turn the interview over to Vanshika.
Hello, I'm Anchika, grade 6 reporter from Visit School. So, before we talk about your job, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Susie Houle, and I work for the Indigenous Relations Office here in the City of Edmonton. I am from the Goodfish Lake First Nation here in Treaty 6 territory, which is located in northeastern Alberta. I have called Edmonton home for the past 20 years. I moved here when I was younger to pursue post-secondary education and also take advantage of the opportunities that are available in the urban setting. I am a wife and have a very supportive and loving partner. I also have a 10-year-old son, two dogs, and a baby, which will be joining our family in July.
It's really cool. So, what were the roles of your dad or grandpa when they were chiefs?
Yes, so growing up, I had I was very fortunate that my grandfather and my father were leaders of my community. And I know that you had the opportunity to interview some leaders from city council as well. So growing up, I watched my father and my grandfather take on this role, um, and they did it. They did it with a lot of pride. They also had to be fair, accountable, and honest to the members that they serve, and also they had to be knowledgeable of treaty and understand what treaty means. Do you, Vanshika, know what treaty means?
Treaty, yeah, it's like it's a paper where you sign it, so like the Treaty of Peace, kind of, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so Treaty 6 territory is where Edmonton is located, and it stretches across Alberta and Saskatchewan. And my father and my grandfather were had to uphold and be responsible to the treaty and make sure that other orders of government were responsible to this treaty that they had with the First Peoples of this land too. So Treaty 6 was signed in 1876, and it's still just as important as it was back then as it is today.
That's great. That's good. So, what part of your job do you always look forward to?
Um, I really enjoy that my team and ourselves, we get to work on a lot of many different tasks within the city administration. We get to work with elected officials, whether it be city mayor and council, also chiefs and leaders of the Indigenous communities. We also get to work with community members, and we see some really great work and ideas coming from the community, and we get to encourage and support that. So that's a really fun part of my job, and I look forward to the many people that we meet and the many good people that are out there doing great things. I also enjoy very much working with another colleague of mine, Miss Linda Hutt at City Hall School, and I always have a great time when I am interviewed by students and get to share a little bit about my history and the work that I do with the city to help support and encourage Indigenous communities and people.
That does seem fun. It's it's fun getting to know people like you. So, tell us more about your job and two events that your team has planned.
So my current position with the Indigenous Relations Office is that of a consultant, and right now I am helping projects and different city initiatives engage with the Indigenous community. So when we go out to engage with communities, we talk to First Nation communities as well as the Métis communities and communities within the urban center who have projects that they want to work on. Also, city projects where we need to meet with Indigenous leaders and membership to get their input on how they view themselves living in the city. So some of the projects that I work on range from infrastructure projects within the city, environmental projects, and also just engaging on matters that mean the most to Indigenous people who live in Edmonton and use Edmonton for services as well. And
Yeah.
the second part of the question, sorry, was about some of the events that we host. So back to what Linda had mentioned was that our office, we like to make bridges, and we like to work and build relationships with the Indigenous communities, and that's something that we're really good at, and that we feel that we're doing great. So we have built very strong relationships with the Confederacy of Treaty 6 First Nations, the Métis Nation of Alberta, and also the Enoch Cree Nation. So we host, alongside with our partners, 2 events, but these 2 events celebrate the Memorandum of Understanding, which is kind of a formalized relationship agreement that we have with these nations, and we celebrate these events every year. So one event is called Treaty 6 Recognition Day, which recognizes the contributions of the many First Nations people who have made this place called Edmonton. So Treaty 6, I mentioned, was signed in 1876, and it was signed in Fort Pitt and also in Fort Carleton. A year after that, in 1877, adhesion was signed. So other nations were able to sign on to this treaty who weren't able to make it to the first signing. So that adhesion was signed on the Alberta legislature grounds, right here in Edmonton. So we celebrate Treaty 6 itself, and also that signing of the adhesion that happened here. Treaty 6 Recognition Day is it's a very important day for the city, and elected leaders and officials really recognize the importance of the day, and how the Indigenous communities continue to contribute to the well-being of all of us. So another event is Métis Week, which we also co-host with the Métis Nation of Alberta, and it starts off. The day starts off, or the week starts off with a kickoff of commemorating the life of Louis Riel, and his contributions to Canadian society, and also the Métis Nation itself. Both these events are celebrated with a proclamation where the mayor reads the proclamation, and claims these dates as very important within the city. And normally we do have a flag raising ceremony, but City Hall Plaza had just recently went through a renovation, and they installed flagpoles where the Treaty 6 flag hangs permanently, and also the Métis Nation flags both hang permanently now. So it's very important to see these flags hanging in the City Hall Plaza. So if you get the chance, you should take a look at them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing those. So, usually when you talk to classes at City Hall, we are in the city room by the Indigenous display. Can you tell everyone about that display?
Yeah, so the Indigenous display at City Hall is above the grand staircase, and it's in a very important, very visible spot for visitors who come to City Hall. They can see, and I think it's placed in that spot for people to see, to learn about the Indigenous communities and their contributions to this place, and also to recognize how serious and very important that mayor and council and city administration believe the relationship with Indigenous people are. So in the display, you'll see some items that were gifted to the city during earlier talks many years ago, when the city and Indigenous communities started to start this relationship, and started to build on it. One of the gifts in there is a eagle staff, and it was gifted from it was gifted from a Cree elder. And also another item in the display case is a star blanket, which was gifted to the city by a Inuit elder. And these two items, there's other items in there, but these two items really signify kind of an honoring to the city for starting this work and kind of showing how much appreciation they have for starting the work and valuing Indigenous people. If I think you can go online and look at the display case on the City Hall virtual tour, and then you can also take a look at some of the items in there and see for yourself some of the importance of the items in there, and then maybe learn about them too.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure we're all really looking forward to that opportunity to be back at City Hall and to see those items. So I want to thank you both for that interview. And I love how proud Susie is of her dad and her grandpa. And I also love the fact that there's a new generation, a new baby going to be born this summer. And I'm curious to know what stories and what memories will get told to the different generations. So my challenge for you today, students, is to consider being a genealogical detective. And maybe you can draw a picture of your family tree. I wonder how many generations you can go back. I wonder how you're going to draw connections between cousins and uncles and brothers. Maybe you can add birth dates and anniversary dates on there. So good luck with that family tree. Thanks for watching Virtual City Hall School. Bye.